Now, good evening this Saturday evening. Thank you so much for making time for this bulletin here on Trending News on Lookup TV. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Kisii? Are you in Nyambene? Are you in Kericho? Or are you in Kakamega? Tell us where you're watching us from. We are here live on Trending News, bringing you up to date. My name is Brian Amwai, and I trust that you're having a wonderful evening. Let's bring you up to date with the news making headlines today on Trending News. Now, there was security and traffic disruption today around Gigiri in Nairobi from morning to this afternoon following a readiness exercise of the Kenya Police Service with the United States Embassy, which involved the use of firearms. Now, the exercise incorporated representatives from both the U.S. and the Kenyan government in the Department of State's Bureau of Diplomatic Security. Now, the U.S.-Kenya joint readiness exercise includes the evacuation of casualties to local hospitals and emergency rooms. This training exercise enhances the abilities of first responders to manage large-scale emergency situations. Now, that exercise sure is going to help our security services when it comes to responding to emergency situations here in the country and just helping Kenyans get out of those situations. Moving on, the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi has called for legislative action to empower county public service boards to carry out their functions independently. Muturi, who spoke in Mombasa during a county service board retreat, said service delivery in the devolved units should be professionalized by granting boards financial and functional authority to insulate them from political pressure exerted by governors and county assembly members.
And therefore, for you to be effective as envisaged in the Constitution, you really must have financial autonomy. Yes. And it must be clear. I know even the county assemblies are suffering, some of them. You know, there's always a back and forth, but you know they have a way. Because the county assemblies themselves, just like the National Assembly, they have a way. You know, they can also refuse to pass the budget of the excellencies. Yeah? They can refuse, isn't it? But you, what? Can you? No. Yeah? So, it's for that reason that it is important, even if it is whether by a standalone law, legislation, or a specific amendment in the County Government Act providing for line item on budgetary allocation. In fact, my first question to the chairperson was, is there a way we can obligate every governor in doing their budget, if it is not provided for, the county assembly to refuse and all provide for it themselves? You know, we must look for innovative ways.
Now, that is Speaker Justin Muturi in Mombasa. Now, world leaders will tomorrow convene in the Scottish capital, Glasgow, to discuss a way forward in dealing with the imminent threat of climate change during this year's climate summit, COP26. Now, the summit will be overshadowed by skepticism in cooperation among nations on how to deal with the climate issue, and low expectations out of the talks are expected as governments and climate campaigners differ on the way forward.
In every region of the globe, effects of climate change are evident. Wildfires in Canada, United States and Australia, drought and increased desertification in the regions of sub-Saharan Africa, heat waves in the Gulf states, India, Pakistan to North America, and deadly floods in Germany and other parts of Europe are just but a few of climate change catastrophes the world has been dealing with in the recent years. World leaders may not have a clear strategy to tackle the climate change, but one thing is clear. Climate change is having its toll on the existence of humanity on Earth. People have lost their lives. Economic activities like farming have been lost, and there are conflicts over resources, increased waves of climate refugees around the world, and outbreaks of pandemics that pose huge risks in the global public health. Tomorrow, United States President Joe Biden will lead other world leaders who are gathering to discuss a man-made, humanity-threatening crisis of climate change. Various nations have pledged to reduce carbon emissions in the atmosphere, yet the reality in these countries points to the different direction, with major economies such as Australia and China still investing and relying on coal power plants to generate energy for their industries. The conspicuous absence of Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Russia's President Vladimir Putin this weekend in Glasgow is a clear indicator of lack of solidarity in the international community to tackle a matter so serious to the level of existential threat to humanity. China's Xi Jinping is reported to be preparing to address the summit via video link, with the same being talked about President Putin in Kremlin quarters. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned of the risk of the COP26 not succeeding, citing lack of momentum and solidarity among world governments which are expected to make and adhere to commitments to slash carbon emissions. In Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta urged developed economies and the international communities to invest heavily in measures to mitigate climate change in the developing countries where the effects are part and parcel of people's daily lives. However, President Kenyatta's call leads to the question as to whether governments in these nations are making enough efforts to be part of the climate change mitigation efforts. Indakwa Were, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, thank you so much, Frederick Indako, for that report. Moving on, religious leaders have called on leaders who will add value, or have called on Kenyans to elect leaders who will add value and preach peace in the country. The leaders have also advised Kenyans to elect leaders that mean well for their country, as opposed to leaders who have selfish interests.
Those people who only wait for people to add value, and they come to seek, they come to consume what other people have labored so much. And in this country, we are praying that God may give us leaders who will add value, but who will not be parasites. So that when ordinary Christians labor so much in their tea, in their coffee, in their dairy, in their farming, in their hustling, that the government and the leaders will help those people to move from one level to another in progression. But it will be very unfortunate if we get leaders who will make us like slaves. We labor so much, but they become parasites to consume what other people who have been doing a lot of hard work have gathered. The voter registration is going on. And voting is your right. If we want to have good leaders, we ask the wananchi not to have apathy. That kind of feeling that things are so bad that there is nothing that can be done to change. With God, things can change. All things are possible with God. So we urge all the wananchi to be aggressive in voter registration, especially the young people. Let the young people be asked to take their votes and to guard their vote and to look critically into who will make a value addition as they come to vote.
Now, yes, we are calling for peace as we get into an electioneering period 2022. Now, I take a short break here, but I'll be back with our video of the week and also more stories. I tell you, that is a video you do not want to miss. Also, just to remind you that we are in Kericho, we are in Kakamega, we are in Nyambene, we are in Kisii. So where are you watching us from? Tell us through our SMS number and also on our social media platforms.
future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
This November, a gathering of music ministers from all over East Africa. It's Kenyan Music Ministers Conference with Marvel Jokes. Theme, the music, the minister, the mandate. Date, Saturday, November 6, 2021. Time, morning session 9 a.m., evening session 5 p.m. Venue, Tabernacle of Grace City of Hope at City Square House behind Kenya Cinema, Nairobi, Kenya. Also ministering, Jackie Kelvin, Rosemary Njage, Size 8 Reborn, Anthony Musembi, Messalina, Promise Prince, Agusan Sunday, Irene Seeger, and many more.
Hi there, music is beyond the melody, the rhythm, and even the lyrics. Music is spiritual. The gospel in this end time will only travel to the ends of the earth, except on the wings of music. My name is Marvel Jokes. I'm an international music minister, an author, and also a teacher of the word. Do not want to miss this meeting for anything wherever you are. I'll see you in Kenya. God bless you.
This conference will also be aired live on YouTube at Marvel Jokes TV. Do subscribe and connect live.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years' experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful womb. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Mimi nimezaliwa Isili na kulelewa hapo.
This is where I hung around, I lived.
In terms of what is perceived to be a good childhood, I had one.
And when you have abused alcohol and drugs for this long, then something has to change.
Do you know when you don't have time with your child, how to do a change?
But now my grandmother thought I had gone crazy. I had to be admitted at Madare Mental Hospital, Ward 2F.
Thank you so much for staying with Look Up TV, and you are watching Why I Did It. So did you just dump all the friends?
100%. 100%.
This group welcoming me and not judging me made me feel at home. There is hope. There's no one who is too far gone.
Why I Did It, Saturdays from 8 p.m. only on Look Up TV. Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@luke-up.tv. Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
Now, thank you for staying with us here on Trending News on Look Up TV. Like I said earlier, where are you watching us from? We are in Kericho, Isiolo, we are in Nakuru, Kakamega, and all other areas in the country. And we are bringing you up to date with the news making headlines today. Let's move on. Now, the Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Havi yesterday bashed Chief Justice Martha Koome for responding to former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga. Now, in a statement, the LSK President accused the Chief Justice of lacking emotional intelligence, saying that the Law Society should have just stayed silent. David Kasembeli now reports.
The statement read that Chief Justice Martha Koome lacks emotional intelligence. She needed not to respond to retired Chief Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga's call for justice to go on strike. He said that it was common sense that judges cannot go on strike. The Chief Justice on Thursday criticized a call by former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga to have judges to go on strike in solidarity with their 6 colleagues whose appointment was declined by President Uhuru Kenyatta. According to Lady Justice Koome, Mutunga's sentiments were insightful and went against everything the judiciary stands for. Koome said that notwithstanding the reasons for which that call was made, it is imperative that we all examine the implications of that regrettable incitement meant to disrupt access to justice for Kenyans. Mutunga's Thursday declaration called on judges to down their tools in protest of the executive's continued trend of ignoring court orders. According to him, the executive will only take the judiciary seriously if they act immediately. This comes at the time when the judiciary and the executive are not on the loggerheads after the president rejected to appoint 6 judges to the High Court after their nominations. President Uhuru Kenyatta instead filed an appeal on Wednesday to challenge the High Court's decision that directed him to appoint the 6 judges he left out from a list of 41 judges recommended by the Judicial Service Commission JSC for appointment. Koome said that Mutunga is still bound by the oath of the office he took prior to serving as the country's top judge to diligently serve the people and the countries and to impartially do justice in accordance with the Constitution and the laws and customs of the Republic without any fear, favor, biasness, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. The Chief Justice said that the consequences of calling a judicial strike is very serious and could result to a constitutional abuse. She linked it to calling for a suspension or dismemberment of the Constitution of excluding one arm of the government from the constitutional operations of the democratic state. The Chief Justice urged judges to disregard Mutunga's call and focus on the progressive reforms that they have been committed to pursue as part of the wider efforts to reduce case backlog. Koome stated that it is on record that while serving as chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission, Dr. Mutunga disapproved any action by judges to down their tools when the 3 Supreme Court judges were indicted with allegations to down their tools. She added that he did that by laying charges before the Judicial Service Commission, calling for the removal of Justice Mohammed Ibrahim, Justice J.B. Ojwang, and Justice Njoki Ndung'u, a position he maintained even in court. Koome further said that although the aforementioned judges have since been cleared of the allegation by the High Court, it is suspected that the Office of the Chief Justice and the Judicial Service Commission will take such action as an affront to the Code of Conduct that all judges and judicial officers have sworn to uphold. She added that it is therefore regrettable that Dr. Mutunga has called for abscondment of duty by the judiciary, which is in effect will affect the operation of the entire justice sector. Koome said that she had personally expressed her disapproval to the former CJ and reminded Kenyans that her major obligation is to defend the Constitution. The Chief Justice called on Mutunga to support the judiciary, which he had transitioned from the difficult dictatorial days, by strengthening its capacity to continue its provision of justice to Kenyans through constructive dialogue. David Kasembeli, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, thank you, David Kasembeli, for that. Before we go on, let me just take this one comment. Somebody says, Kristen Antesh says, good job, Look Up TV, and tuned in from Nakuru. Glad that now we can watch Look Up TV in Nakuru, and we are glad that you can watch us in Nakuru. Thank you so much, Kristen Antesh, for tuning in to Look Up TV at this moment. Now, moving on, electricity distribution company Kenya Power has recorded 8.2 billion in profit before tax for the financial year 2021-2022. The company's profits have grown by 216% after suffering a loss of over 7 billion shillings in the preceding financial year. The company's impressive performance comes amid heavy scrutiny on the company. Calvin Kodalo with that story.
For several weeks now, Kenya Power has been in the headlines, with the Kenyan government tightening its grip to implement reforms meant to address reported embezzlement at the company. However, the company has announced a return to profitability, reporting 1.5 billion shillings in net earnings for the year ending June this year. This is compared to the company's heavy losses in the 2019-2020 financial year, where it suffered a negative of 939 million shillings after tax. In its latest results, the company posted pre-tax profit amounting to 8.2 billion Kenya shillings, which represents an increase of 216% in profits compared to the pre-tax loss of 7.04 billion shillings in 2019-2020. Kenya Power has attributed these positive results to increased sales and revenue, as well as cuts in costs and expenses. According to Kenya Power, this year's performance adds credit to ongoing reforms that were launched to alleviate wastage at the company. The results come about a month after President Uhuru Kenyatta ordered the company to reduce electricity prices by 33% before the end of the year as one of the recommendations made by a task force that examined the cost of energy in the country. Recommendations by the task force came after allegations that Kenya Power was losing billions through exorbitant power purchase agreements with independent electricity producers, a situation that was said to cause an increase in the cost of power for Kenyans. Aside from exorbitant power purchase agreements, the government has alleged embezzlement and even corruption at Kenya Power. Ahead of the government declaring the company a special government project, some of the allegations raised include some employees in the company colluding with major electricity consumers in schemes to avoid paying electricity fees. As a special government project, the government intends to step up its investigation into allegations of corruption and embezzlement within Kenya Power. The government has also launched a committee that brings together various government departments to intensify reforms across all sectors of the Kenya Power Company. Calvin Kodalo, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, it has been a long way coming for the Maendeleo ya Wanawake as it marked its 70th anniversary yesterday in Kirinyaga County, while taking stock of the milestones that they have achieved ever since its inception.
But Maendeleo is still there, standing all the weathers that have come by. But we are saying that God has been so grateful that we are able to have subdued all the weathers. It is going to take our integrity to talk to this nation, which I'll be doing this tonight. Mama Zipe will be making a key speech tonight. We are going to appeal to the government because if Maendeleo is 70, despite our challenges, why do we have to have 75 political parties? What does that say about this nation? What is this the men have not been able to hold together so that there is a party of a tribe and 5 groupings every day? Maendeleo has stood the test of time. My time was very hard, and here we are together. And we are saying, 2022 may be near. Come 2027, tutakutana na nyinyi wanaume tu wote.
Now, we have come to the best part of this bulletin, I think. As we mark the end of the week, we have the video of the week for you. Now, this week, we have had a trending clip of former Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale's, not him personally, but his supporters who used some trying to defend him when there was a press conference going on about complaining about him to the UDA party. Now, that video has went viral on social media, having people making challenge out of that. Let's take a look.
We wanted to advise you, William Ruto, as our deputy president and as a presidential candidate of UDA, we have observed few issues over our veteran Boni Halwale. The first thing,
hapa Mungiki Halwale hakuna conference hapa nimekata kama ni kifo iko hapa.
We have got few issues that we want to put across.
Nasema kuna hapa hakuna nataka tutauana hapa niko tayari.
Our presidential candidate over an issues observed over our veteran Moses Kuria.
Wachana Moses Kuria. Wachana na Moses Kuria wewe. Mutikoria muda goko, mutikoria muda.
The first thing
kafi hadi takufa hapa. No kuira ha.
The first thing that is
reka tutai mwana. Hapana kuongelea Moses namna. Mutikoria muda huo.
Ile kitu tunataka kuambia party leader wetu kwa mambo ya chama ni kwamba kuna mambo tumeangalia kuhusu mambo ya masomo kwa chama. Yes. Na watu ambao inasemekana hawajasoma kama Oscar Sudi. Yes. Tunataka
usiongelele Sudi. Mea kutiti tuangalie Sudi.
The first
Sudi.
Now that is our video of the week. They say wachana na Halwale. Also, we'll find out. I'll try to make that challenge here at Look Up TV, but we have no idea who we will be saying wachana na yeye. We'll find out that soon. Now, moving on, officers have cautioned residents in Murang'a County over the resurgence of Mungiki. That the police have received reports that the Mungiki are in the process of regrouping, posing insecurity for residents in the central Kenya county. Now, the police have, however, stated that they are in position to deal with the criminal group and called upon residents to be on the lookout.
Police in Murang'a County have raised concerns over the resurgence of Mungiki. This is a group that is notoriously known for terrorizing residents. The Murang'a Police Commander, Ms. Donatha Kiplagat, said security agencies have received intelligence that the Mungiki was at an advanced stage of regrouping. This she said during a security meeting at Kigumo Sub-County headquarters. The officer cautioned residents to remain vigilant and report any suspicious groupings in the region. She also cautioned members of the public against associating with the group, as the government will take legal action against them. Ms. Kiplagat said recruitment into the group was in progress, stating that the youths were the most susceptible in the exercise. She warned them, saying security agencies are aware and will thwart their mission and take serious action against those involved. Kiplagat said that the group was responsible for the deteriorating security situation in Murang'a County. She promised to work collaboratively with the community elders and Nyumba Kumi initiative members to protect the public. Ahadi Kenya Trust Executive Director Stanley Kamau at the event recognized the efforts of the Nyumba Kumi initiative members, saying that they had contributed immensely to a secure environment despite being underappreciated. He added, saying that Nyumba Kumi had relentlessly contributed to organizing communities by rallying them towards a common cause of national importance. The Mungiki is a group that emerged in the 1980s and is characterized by a unique religious perspective that favored controversial religious activities. Mungiki is a group that emerged in the 1980s and is characterized by a unique religious perspective that favored controversial religious activities as opposed to westernized forms. The group was later associated with numerous extortion cases, including charging residents fees in exchange for security. The government outlawed Mungiki in 2002, following skirmishes that led to the death of 50 people as they tried to take over the Matatu sector. The group is also linked to the 2007-2008 post-election violence, where they are said to have taken part in fueling ethnic animosity that led to the death of more than 1,300 people and displacement of thousands. Deborah Mukeni, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, I think we're still on that video of the week whereby Boni Halwale, people are just saying they're ready to die for Boni Halwale in terms of that video. And what has been taking center stage in people making a challenge on that video. And I'll take I'll take a few comments here. Somebody says, following so informative, keep it up. I'm from Nakuru, Bilgil. This is Bishop Waigi. Thank you so much, Bishop Waigi, for watching. You are the reason as to why we are here, and we are glad that you can actually get this bulletin from Nakuru. Somebody says, watching. Thanks, Samwai, for the updates. This is Irene Mwangi. Thank you so much, Irene, for tuning in to Look Up TV. Nelly Andrew says, funny way to end the week with that video of the week. Of course, it has been trending the whole week. People have started making a challenge of that. And as I said, we here at Look Up TV also jump on that train. Bal Moses says, I'm loving everything, guys. Good coverage. Keep it up. Good job. Well done. I'm from Nakuru. Nakuru is well represented here. Thank you so much for tuning into this bulletin. Christian Antesha had read that earlier. Rehema Baraza tuned in from Kawangware. Also says Agi is watching here in Nairobi. Sami Adika says, great job, good news. It's important to have peace. It's a great move by the clergies watching from the Nairobi County, rather. The clergy is right. The youth chose leaders today. And also Joy Mark says, why do world leaders need to fly to Rome in private jets, then fly to Glasgow in private jets, then fly home in private jets, to make the point that the rest of us need to switch off our central heating, pay 30% more for gas and scrap our gas, sensing hypocrisy. Now, I'd like to take this last story before I finish this bulletin. Now, across the borders, Sudanese anti-coup protesters took to the streets Saturday to demonstrate against a military takeover that has derailed the country's transition to civilian rule and triggered a deadly crackdown. Now, the protest came almost a week after the military last Monday detained Sudan's civilian leadership, dissolved the government, and declared a state of emergency, leading to a chorus of international condemnation.
Early demonstrations against the coup were countered by a security response that has left at least 9 demonstrators dead and wounded around 170 people. Despite the bloodshed, organizers on Saturday aimed to stage a million-strong march against the military's power grab, similar to mass protests that led to the toppling of autocrat Omar al-Bashir in 2019. Marching at the start of the protests in the Khartoum area, thousands of protesters took to the streets chanting, "No, no to military rule, revolutionaries, and we will continue the road of democratic transition." On the eastern side of Khartoum, protesters set car tires on fire and held posters saying it's impossible to go back. Earlier, Sudanese rights activist Hani Abbas said that the protesters were no longer afraid. Several pro-democracy activists have been arrested following the takeover led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, Sudan's de facto leader, since the ouster of Bashir, which came at the cost of more than 250 lives. On the eve of Saturday's rallies, a U.S. official put the death toll at between 20 and 30, adding the protesters would be a real test of the intentions of Sudan's military. They called on the security forces to refrain from any and all violence against protesters and to fully respect the citizens' rights to demonstrate peacefully. A similar call came from Britain's Special Envoy for Sudan and South Sudan, Robert Fairweather, saying the security forces and their leaders will bear responsibility for any violence towards any protesters. Phone lines were largely down by Saturday morning as security forces deployed in large numbers and blocked bridges connecting the capital Khartoum with its sister cities. They set up random checkpoints on main roads, randomly frisking passers-by and searching cars. In a statement, Sudan's Information Ministry, which backs a civilian government, learned that the coup authority is planning to fabricate instances of destruction of property to justify its excessive violence. Finance Minister Jibril Ibrahim, who leads an ex-rebel group aligned with the military, emphasized protesters' right to demonstrate but suggested they were built by the people and has nothing to do with peaceful expression. Days of unrest have rocked Khartoum and other cities in the northern country. Protesters who barricaded roads with rocks, debris and burning tires have in some cases been met with tear gas, rubber-coated bullets and live rounds. Shops have largely been shuttered and government employees have refused to work as part of a campaign of civil disobedience. Sudan State TV showed a series of testimonies from military men alleging that protesters wounded them during clashes, as well as ordinary Sudanese hailing the army and criticizing the civil disobedience campaign. The same channel reported on Thursday that its head, Lukman Ahmed, a veteran advocate of civilian rule, had been sacked. Sudan had been led since August 2019 by a civilian military ruling council, alongside Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok's government, as part of the now stalled transition to fully civilian rule. The transition was supposed to last 3 years and culminate in elections. Hamdok was briefly detained, then released and placed under effective house arrest. Other civilian leaders and ministers are still being held. Burhan, a senior general under Bashir's 3 decades of iron-fisted rule, has insisted the military takeover was not a coup but only meant to rectify the course of the Sudanese transition. The move led the World Bank and the United States to freeze aid, a heavy blow to a country already mired in a dire economic crisis that began under Bashir. US President Joe Biden described the coup as a grave setback, but the African Union suspended Sudan's membership for the unconstitutional takeover. On Friday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called on the military to show restraint and not to create any more victims. Monday's power grab was the latest coup in Sudan, one of the world's least developed countries, which has enjoyed only rare democratic interludes since independence in 1956 and spent decades riven by civil war. Waris Kimathi, Look Up TV for trending news.
Now, we have come to the end of this bulletin today. Thank you so much to everybody that has made this bulletin a success. But let me just update you on this one. Arsenal fans are happy today after it recorded good performance when it was playing with Leicester City after beating Leicester City 2-0. Yes, I'm sure Arsenal fans are happy today. They have got something to smile about. And also, I want to end this one, but if my director will allow me, if I don't do this, I'll be in trouble. I want to wish someone else happy birthday. Liz Wanjiku, thank you so much for watching, and happy birthday to you as you age. We wish you the very best. That does it for us here on Trending News. From every place of this country that you've been watching us from, we are glad that you can get us, and we'll continue doing this and bringing you up to date every day of the news making headlines in this country. My name is Brian Amwai. Have yourselves a lovely evening.